Hey guys, welcome to my little corner of the internet. Today we will be talking about 6 ways to discover new music, coming up. So for way number 1, we're going to start with the one that's extremely obvious. That is listening to the radio. I know this sounds super cliche, but there is a way to listen to the radio to discover new music. That way is to listen to different stations and not just the station that you normally listen to. Flip through the channels and stop on a random station and listen for a few minutes. You might discover a new song that you've never heard before. Way number 2 is the 2017 version of discovering music on the radio. This is through music apps. I personally use Apple Music, but Spotify, Tidal, all those other streaming services work just as well. These music services generally have a section that is called For You. That's what it's called in Apple Music, but it'll be called something different in every music app. But it's generally just a section that you can browse new music, and they curate recommendations based on what you like and what you've listened to and what artists you have in your playlists. Apple Music in particular also has playlists for every day of the week, which gives you new music, and every week, which gives you new music, and every month. It also has playlists like the A-list pop section so that you can discover new pop music if that's the genre that you prefer to listen to. The third way to discover new music is through YouTube. There are many different ways to discover new music on YouTube. The first way is just by typing in new music on YouTube. This will go through the new music tag and also recently uploaded music videos so that you can discover new music. The second way is to look up on YouTube a cover of your favorite song. This will lead you to a cover artist, and you can click on their channel and go through what they've already sung in order to find new music that you might like. And you might also discover a new YouTuber that you enjoy. The fourth way is through mixtapes. Like I discussed in a previous video, mixtapes are a compilation of already released music. So if you can find a mixtape either on YouTube or Googling mixtapes, because tons of artists are making mixtapes on SoundCloud and other platforms like that, you can discover a ton of great new music. The fifth way is going to concerts. The opening acts for big name concerts are generally up and coming artists that you've never heard of. Quick little story. So as many people already know, Taylor Swift is my all-time favorite artist, and that is the one concert that I make sure to go to every single time she's in town. So when I went to her Red Tour, the opening act was Ed Sheeran. And I had already heard 18 before that, but I had never really gotten into his music. But hearing his set, I really got into him, and now he's one of my favorite artists. For her 1989 tour, the opening act was Shawn Mendes. Now, full disclosure, I was already a huge fan of Shawn Mendes. Honestly, that was the greatest concert for me because it was my 2 favorite artists. But he was the opening act for her, and there's probably a lot of people at that point who have never heard of Shawn Mendes and got to discover his music, and now he's blowing up. After the 1989 tour, I went to Shawn Mendes' headlining concert. There, the opening act was James T.W., who I had never heard of before. After listening to his set, I got so excited about his music that I looked him up on Apple Music and downloaded all his songs, and I've loved him ever since. So long story short, don't skip the opening act. You can discover great new artists and amazing music. And finally, number 6 is Shazam. I personally use Shazam in not the typical way. I don't hear songs on the radio and Shazam them to see what they are or who the artist is. What I do is I've put Shazam on my computer, so that when I'm watching a TV show, whether it be old or new on Netflix or one that has just recently come out, Shazam is always on in the background. Because it's on in the background, Shazam will pick up the songs that are being played in the TV show, and then I can go back and listen to them afterwards, and that's a great way to discover new music. Think about it. TV shows, especially like high-end TV shows like Grey's Anatomy and stuff like that, they pay a ton of money to use great music, and TV shows tend to make certain songs popular. So if you use Shazam to find the songs that they've been using in a TV show, then you can discover a vast majority of music you've never heard before, or that you've passively been like, oh, that's a good song, but have never figured out what that song is, and you forgot about it. And a final pro tip, if you go back and watch series that you've watched before, especially ones that you really love, you'll tend to notice the music in the background more often than when you're just watching a show that you've never seen before, because you're more concentrated on the storyline. So there you have it, 6 ways to discover new music. If you like what you saw, be sure to subscribe and comment below on how you discover music. See you next week. Bye!